So today I'm going to give a presentation about how to write a CV and a cover letter, which is in part of the senior project course of Faculty of Engineering. So first I'm going to talk about the curriculum vitae, what makes a good CV, how to write a CV, before you are writing a CV, what you should do, and what are the guidelines that you need to follow during writing a CV, and how you are going to finalize your CV. Then I'm going to talk about the cover letter and how to write a cover letter. Again, I'm going to give the guidelines for writing a cover letter. Then I will finish with the final remarks. So what is a CV? CV is actually the abbreviation of the curriculum vitae, which literally means the course of life or life story. A CV is a list of all educational and work experiences and accomplishments. It is your marketing document, it is subjective and personal to you. A CV is an up-to-date portfolio of your skills and experience which are relevant to a particular post. It includes more detailed history of research, publications, organizations, and community service. However, CV doesn't tell the employer what you are applying for, so this is why you need to send your CV together with a cover letter. So why do employers use CVs? The first reason is to shortlist the candidates for the interview and to see how you present yourself on a paper. For the employer, it may take just a few minutes to skim a CV and make a decision. They may even use some softwares to scan for the keywords. So your CV needs to match the employer's requirements as much as possible. And in order to get your CV recognized from the hundreds of CVs in front of the employee, you need to be careful when you are writing your CV. So what makes a good CV? A good CV is clear. It gives the reader a clear understanding of who you are, what skills you possess, your accomplishments, and the career path you have chosen. Also, a good CV is concise. Every word in a CV has a purpose, and only content that makes you a strong candidate is included in a good CV. A good CV is also consistent because a consistent format focuses the reader on what you have written, not how you have written it. A good CV is as well focused. Maybe this is the most challenging part. So when you are writing your CV, focus on your achievements, strengths, and skills. The positive verbs or action words need to be used in order to make your CV focused. So before you write your CV, first you need to gather some information. So you need to know what information a CV generally contains. And in general, a CV contains a personal information in the beginning, and then the education and qualifications, your work experience, obviously. And when we are talking about the work experience, list the internships or jobs that you have had, and include the dates that you began and ended your term at each particular internship or job. Also, skills and achievements are important, so you need to also give some information about that. So make a list of your relevant skills to the job that you are applying for. These skills often include computing skills, the languages you speak, or specific things the company is looking for, such as the target skills. Also, the interests are important to include in a CV. So brainstorm your hobbies and interests. Because unique interests or hobbies will make you stand out. But make sure that when you are writing about your interests, they should be relevant to the job that you are applying for again. And also including references is an important section before you write your CV. So make sure that you have at least 2 references, and before writing them on your CV, make sure to get a permission from the people that you are going to write. Again, before you write your CV, consider the job you are applying for. Research the company, what does the company do, what is the mission, what is the vision of the company that you are applying for. Check the company's website for extra information. You can check the staff, you can check the professional profiles of the staff who are working at the company, in which positions they are working, what they are doing. And also, you need to answer the question of what the company is looking for in an employee, and what skills does the specific job you are applying for require. So brainstorm on the answers of such questions before you write your CV. Then once you gather all of your information, you are ready to get on the first step of your career ladder by writing your CV. So when you are writing your CV, first you need to decide on the format for your CV. There are hundreds of different available CV templates online, but you can as well create your own CV template. So make sure the CV template that you are using has specific sections. The sections are clearly separated. You need to be sure about that. And open a Word document and pick a readable font. Avoid fonts such as Comic Sans. Instead, choose something more professional, such as Arial, Times New Roman, or Palatino Linotype. Then write your name, your address, your telephone number, and email at the top of the page. Make your name a large sizer than the rest of the text. And because your name is much important than your address or telephone number or the email, standard format would be to have your name in the center of the page, and your home address should be listed in a block format on the left side of the paper. So put your telephone number and email below your home address, and you can use a standard format, or you can use different formats that I'm going to show you in a little bit. For example, this is the standard format. Your name is in the middle of the page, the home address and your mobile telephone number, your email address are on the left side of the page. Or you can put your name, your address, your phone number, and your email in the center of the page, or you can use the last format in here. So when you are writing your CV, don't put the term curriculum vitae at the top of the page, and avoid unprofessional email addresses. For example, your university email address is an appropriate one, you can always use it. Do not include the prefix address before the actual address. However, you can include optional details such as your date of birth, your gender, your marital status, your military service status, nationality, etc. if there is a benefit of including such information. And I guess it is beneficial to include such optional details on a CV, especially you are applying for a job in Turkey, because the employer may want to know the status of your military service. Maybe he or she is interested in a long-term employee, so it will be beneficial to include it. Or your date of birth. Maybe the employer wants to see how long it took for you to graduate from the university, so They can check it from the date of your birth and the year that you graduate from the university. So including such information, I guess, really beneficial. So after that section, write a personal or professional profile. This is actually an optional part of the CV. However, I guess, again, it is beneficial to include. So when you are writing the personal profile, you actually write your skills, your experiences and personal qualities. Ensure that it is short and relevant to the job you are applying for. And try to use positive words when you are writing the personal profile, such as dedicated, determined, adaptable, ambitious, and confident. So here is an example of a personal profile. Here it says, I am a dedicated, hardworking, and ambitious individual with a great passion for mechanical design, plant operations, process, and safety improvements. So here, if you are writing the passions for specific jobs, you need to support it in maybe the project sections on your CV that I'm going to talk about, or work experiences that you had before. You need to support your passion. And I'm currently in my 4th year of studying mechanical engineering at Izmir University of Economics and looking for an opportunity to utilize my technical drawing and design skills in a challenging working environment and become a valuable asset to the organization that I work for. A positive sentence. Again, you can use different words. If you don't think that you are a hardworking student, maybe you are afraid to one, so include it. Try to think your positive sides. And again, write the personal profile relevant to the job that you are applying for. So after this personal profile, write a section for your education and qualifications. So this section can be at the beginning of your CV, or you can choose to list it after other sections. The order of sections is completely up to you, but the standard format is first you are including your personal information, then maybe the personal profile, then the education and qualification comes. So list your education in reverse chronological order. Begin with the last university you attended, write the start and the end dates, and work your way backwards. List the name of your university, the dates you went there, your major and minor, and your GPA. For example, in here we have a graduate of Bachelor's of Science in Computer Engineering. The GPA is given. You can give also the relevant courses, the relevant modules. So maybe the job position that you are applying for requires some programming languages, so include those. You can always include the certifications that you have and maybe the awards that you win. So in the educational qualifications, write down all of them, and you can start from the high school you attended and also include the dates. So after the education section, write a section for your work experience. This is the section in which you should list all of your relevant work experience, including the internships. List the name of the company, the location of the company, the start and end dates you worked there. Write your job title and what you did. Write the main duties you performed. You can also include any voluntary position, if any. So start with your most recent internship or job, and again work backwards as was shown in the education. And maybe after the section of the work experience, you can include the projects that you worked on. So this section is the place where you should write about your senior project and other projects if you worked on. So first write your project title and the abstract should include the overall purpose of the study, the project that you worked on, and the research problems you investigated, the basic design of study, major findings or trends found as a result of your analysis, a brief summary of your interpretations and conclusions. And after that section, a section for your skills comes. This section is where you list the skills that you have developed. These skills often include technical skills such as computing skills, languages you speak, or specific things the company is looking for, such as the target skills. And when you are writing your skills, you can include at which level you are related to the specific skill that you are writing. And a section for your hobbies and interests comes. So choose several interests from the list you created previously while brainstorming for your CV. However, you should include the relevant skills that will assist you in the job. You can use the hobbies and interest section of your CV to demonstrate that you are a well-rounded person who is engaged in extracurricular activities and also in the community. So it will give the recruiter a fuller and more complete picture of you, and maybe they form a great basis for discussion at the interview stage. Then write a section for the references. Your referees are the people you have worked with in the past, such as your professors and previous employers who know you and have seen your work. So do not include a friend or a family member as a referee on your CV. And the company you are applying to may contact these references to find out more about your previous work. So double check the reference that you are writing has still the same position, same address or telephone number. Again, ask for the permission, say that you are writing his or her name so that the employer can call him or her. So I guess this section is as well important as the working experience. And when you are finalizing your CV, check your spelling and grammar. Make sure it is well organized and clearly laid out, with well-defined headings and sections. Proofread for any sentences that could be written more concisely. One CV is not enough. Don't send out identical CVs to every job you apply for, because no two jobs are identical. Your CV should reflect this. Your CV should be relevant to the job that you are applying for. So keep a master copy and adapt it accordingly when you are applying to different jobs. So don't claim to have skills you clearly don't possess. Don't lie on the CV. If you do get the job, being unable to fully operate PowerPoint or Excel, for example, having claimed that you are an expert, will create a terrible first impression. And don't send a CV out by itself. Your covering letter is equally important, as you will use it to focus the recruiter's minds on the job in question and how your skills and abilities meet his or her requirements. So what is a cover letter? Cover letter is your formal introduction. It is the first read and it can make or break your entry, and it is a must with your CV. A cover letter is an important tool to use when applying for a job because it introduces you to the prospective employer, it highlights your enthusiasm for the position, it describes your specific skills and qualifications for the job and clearly explains why you are a good fit. In a CV, you can't explain by your own words how qualified you are for the job. However, a cover letter can help you to do that. So cover letter confirms your ability to start a new position, and it serves as a small window into your personality that makes the employer feel he or she simply must get to know you better. So there are three types of cover letters. The first one is the invited cover letter, which is written in response to an advertised opening, whether in a newspaper, trade publication, on the internet, or on the company's website. Uninvited or cold contact cover letter is a letter written to a target organization you are interested in working for, but haven't publicly advertised an open position. And the referral letter is an extremely effective type of cover letter that springs from networking efforts. The referral letter uses a name-dropping tactic as early as possible in the letter to attract the reader's attention and prompt an interview. However, the guidelines to write a cover letter are more or less the same. So, limit the cover letter to one page if possible, unless applying to an academic faculty teaching or research position. Use the same font in the cover letter as you use in your CV, because consistency always wins, and you are going to send your cover letter together with your CV. So use a business letter format when you are writing your cover letter. Single space your letter and double space between paragraphs. Use formal, professional language in a cover letter, and keep your paragraphs brief and relevant. Also, personalize each cover letter to the specific person you are applying to. Tailor your letter to the position and company you are studying yourself, don't forget it. So show how your qualifications match the job duties and company goals. And proofread your letter carefully and ask one or two others to proofread it as well. Misspellings and grammatical errors communicate that you are a poor writer or careless, so don't do it. Be careful about it. And address your cover letter to a specific person or the hiring manager whenever possible. If you don't know their name, use one of the following examples, such as dear hiring manager, dear insert the department here, hiring team, dear recruiter, dear search committee chair and committee members. I mean, this is actually for the academic positions, or you can use to whom it may concern. So when we look at the anatomy of a cover letter, it consists of three main paragraphs. The first paragraph is an introductory paragraph where you introduce yourself, where you write about what you are seeking, what is the type of position that you are applying for. And in the middle paragraph, you are writing about what you can do for the company. And you are writing about your matching qualifications and write about your knowledge about the company. And in the closing final paragraph, you are writing basically what you want, which is an interview, obviously. So be specific, be direct and persistent. So when we are writing the cover letter, the opening is the contact information. Don't forget that this is a letter, so you need to put your personal contact information, your name, address, phone, email. You can use your professional profile, such as LinkedIn or online portfolios. Include the date, also employer's contact info, name, department, company, the address, and the greeting. So try to address your cover letter to a person. If no specific name is available, of course, as I mentioned previously, you can use dear hiring manager or to whom it may concern. So in the first paragraph of a cover letter, introduce yourself and express your interest in the position. So possible subjects may include who you are, in which year you are in the school, which university you have graduated, what is your major, and you can include the specific job title that you are applying for or you want to work for, and how you heard about the job, if appropriate. Give the name of the person who told you about it in first paragraph. Write about why you are interested in the position and be specific about it. Write about why you are qualified. So this should be a brief one-sentence summary of why you are a good fit for the position. So in the middle paragraph, describe one or three of your experiences, the projects that show your job-specific skills and qualifications. So make sure to show how you make a good fit with the position. Focus on what you will bring to the organization that will make them glad they hired you. Not simply restate your CV. Break up the paragraph into smaller sections if it is too big. Smaller paragraphs are more. And in the final paragraph of the cover letter, you are writing your final interest and fit statement, in which you include your ability and how you will follow through with the application. Tell the reader what is the best way to reach you. Thank the employer for their consideration. Add any other practical remarks, such as if you haven't completed the certification yet but are scheduled to take the exam, or if you will be relocating or will be visiting the area soon, you can always include the remarks. And for the closing signature, you can use sincerely, best regards, yours, and handwritten signature and type the name. So it is the best to handwrite the signature, but if you are unable to scan the document, you can use script-like font instead. So for the final remarks, don't repeat or summarize your CV in your cover letter. Focus the cover letter on your enthusiasm for the job, excitement about working with that organization, to highlight unit skills that make you qualified for the position and a good fit for the employer. Don't exaggerate your skills or experience. One more time, don't lie on your CV. You can check the cover letter in here when you are checking the slides. And you can also look at the references for detailed information and for examples of CVs and other cover letters. So, good luck with job hunting.